Cycle tradition of an October surprise possibly being fulfilled tonight by the allegation that Joe Biden may have had a meeting. He has vehemently denied. The Biden campaign still denies it tonight, but emails allegedly from his son Hunter Biden say the meeting was at least being set up. This about Hunter Biden and a powerful Ukrainian businessman. We're looking into this story, but we have Fox team coverage tonight. Howard Kurtz tells us how social media is dealing with what many are saying, censoring this story. But first, senior political correspondent Mike Emanuel has the specifics. What do we know, Mike?
Well, Brett, good evening. An explosive story at a critical stage in this presidential campaign. Newly released emails allegedly from Joe Biden's son Hunter's computer, leading to Capitol Hill investigators starting a probe. The Senate Homeland Security Committee is now investigating a hard drive brought forward by a whistleblower. An attorney for Rudy Giuliani tells Fox News a computer repairman came forward with a laptop and hard drive that he says belonged to Hunter Biden. He claims that it was dropped off at his shop and never picked up. Fox is told it had an estimated 40,000 emails, 1,000 text messages, and salacious photos and videos of the former vice president's son. Now, Senate investigators are working with the whistleblower to confirm the information. He is legally blind, uses a monocle to do his job, and cannot confirm it was Hunter who dropped off the laptop.
I saw stuff, and I was concerned. I was concerned that somebody might want to come looking for this stuff eventually, and I wanted it out of my shop.
And the stuff were images, or the stuff was text, emails?
A little bit of both.
Fox News has obtained an April 17, 2015 email. A source tells Fox it came from the computer in question. It is from Vadim Pazarsky, a senior official from the Ukrainian energy firm Burisma. He thanks Hunter Biden for inviting him to Washington and, quote, giving an opportunity to meet your father, and spent some time together when Joe Biden was vice president. The Biden campaign says it has reviewed Joe Biden's official schedules from the time, and no meeting ever took place. But this has been a very sensitive subject.
Do you think it was wrong for him to take that position, knowing that it was really because that company wanted access to you?
Well, that's not true. You're saying things you do not know what you're talking about. No one said that. Who said that?
Who said that?
There's also a May 12, 2014 email from Pazarsky that mentions to Hunter Biden, quote, we urgently need your advice on how you could use your influence to convey a message, signal, etc., to stop what we consider to be politically motivated actions. At the time, Hunter Biden was reportedly being paid up to $50,000 per month by Burisma, while his father, the vice president, was the point man for the Obama administration on Ukraine. Less than a year after that alleged 2014 meeting where Hunter evidently introduced Pazarsky to his father, a Ukrainian prosecutor was fired, something Joe Biden bragged about in 2018.
I looked, I said, we're leaving in 6 hours. If the prosecutor's not fired, you're not getting the money. Oh, son of a bitch. Got fired.
The Trump campaign notes the Biden campaign does not dispute the authenticity of the emails. Fox has reached out to Pazarsky to ask if these are his emails, and we have not gotten a response. Brett?
Mike, so we know the owner turns it over to the FBI. Do we know the provenance of that, how it happens, when it happens?
We understand that it's been in the FBI's possession since December 2019. It's not entirely clear how this ended up getting to an attorney with ties to Rudy Giuliani. The FBI is not talking about its possession of it. It turned us over to the U.S. Attorney's Office in Delaware, which would not confirm nor deny that an investigation was underway. We understand that there was some concern about whether the FBI had kept it, whether they had fully scrubbed it or what, and so a guy kept a copy of it and then passed it on to Rudy Giuliani's camp, and thus it has ended up in public domain, at least part of it.
20 days from an election. Mike, thank you. More to this. The social media reaction to this story really has been fascinating today and also highly controversial. Here's Fox News media analyst, host of Fox's Media Buzz, Howard Kurtz. Howard, this is quite something.
It is indeed, Brett. The details of today's New York Post story may be in dispute, but one thing is not. Two social media giants don't want you to see it. After the tabloid disclosed emails indicating a meeting between Biden's father and that energy executive in Ukraine, Facebook said it would limit the story's distribution while an outside fact checker reviewed it, which is done, quote, if we have signals that a piece of content is false. Now, Twitter is resorting to outright censorship, blocking its users from sharing the Post piece even through direct messages. The Post saying late today that Twitter has now locked its account by arguing that the paper has violated its rules against sharing hacked material. That's a quote. Now, this will fuel criticism by President Trump and many others that Facebook's Mark Zuckerberg and Twitter chief Jack Dorsey have acknowledged that their companies are accused of being biased against the right. Some top reporters who challenged the document obtained by Rudy Giuliani, as Mike mentioned, are taking heat from the left. New York Times' Maggie Haberman said the sketchy story left unclear when Giuliani obtained the document. Politico's Jake Sherman added, yep, and how did Rudy get it? Liberal Times columnist Michelle Goldberg responded, you're really going to help Giuliani and Steve Bannon launder this bull through the news cycle? Senator Ted Cruz today accused Twitter of an obvious and transparent attempt to influence the election and of hypocrisy for allowing shoddier stories about other politicians. A top producer for MSNBC's Lawrence O'Donnell tweeted, no one should link to or share the New York Post report, but such efforts may be backfiring, bringing even more attention to this story, Greg.
Okay, Howie, thank you. Now to reaction from the Biden campaign. Correspondent Peter Ducey has the latest tonight from Wilmington, Delaware.
Joe Biden brought a story about his son Hunter on the campaign trail this week.
The reason I went home was the same reason why all you do. Try to. And that is that to be there in the evening when my kids went to bed in the morning, my son Bo, my son Hunter, my daughter Ashley.
He defended Hunter on the debate stage.
My son, like a lot of people we know at home, had a drug problem. He's overtaken it. He's fixed it. He's worked on it. And I'm proud of him.
And now his campaign claims they can't find any evidence to support reporting that Hunter introduced his dad, then vice president, to a Ukrainian business partner. Quote, we have reviewed Joe Biden's official schedules from the time, and no meeting, as alleged by the New York Post, ever took place. The campaign also insists previous investigations about wrongdoing cleared Biden, whose focus at a fundraiser today was on a phone call, telling donors, quote, just got off the phone with Warren Buffett and talking about how we're in a position, unlike we were 50, 70, 80 years ago, to lead the whole damn world in a way that no one else can. For months, Biden has favored virtual or small socially distanced events while calling out large Trump rallies.
So reckless.
COVID-19 cases have been linked to multiple Trump events, and now a Biden event as well. At least one COVID-19 case has reportedly been traced to a stop Biden made at the end of last month in Minnesota.
Hello, Minnesota. It's good to be back.
Judge Barrett.
As Biden's running mate Kamala Harris attends Supreme Court confirmation hearings, Biden says Amy Coney Barrett shouldn't be confirmed, but that she, quote, seems like a decent person. And despite Biden's big lead over Trump in the polls,
Well, you know, I'm one of those superstitious guys. It ain't over until it's over.
it's a day closer to being over, but Biden is not in a battleground state. Instead, he's here at home in Delaware. He is going to deliver pre-taped remarks to a Muslims Making Change event this evening. And of course, he did attend that virtual fundraiser with 37 donors. Right?
Peter Ducey in Wilmington. Peter, thanks. President Trump is once again spending the dinner hour